All right. 1, 2. What's going on, everybody? We live again tonight. Got a little Zeke to start off. I'm going to give everybody a couple minutes to log on.
I have 2K20.
You have 2K20. That's how we starting the night off?
Yes.
All right, what's so special about 2K20?
I don't know.
What do you play?
I mean, I play 2K20. I play Blacktop. I play 2K. You play now.
Yeah, you've been going 2K crazy. I know how you feel, though. I know what it means when you first get your video game.
Yeah.
What else you been doing? We weren't running the other day, right?
Yeah, I was running today.
And yesterday.
Yeah, and yesterday.
What else?
I don't know.
Me neither. You sure you don't have nothing you want to share? I like to give people a couple minutes to log in. You can tell them anything you want.
It's fine. That's it.
You sure? What you about to go do?
I'm about to eat dinner.
Already?
Yes. It's 8.
It's 8. My bad. Anything else?
Yeah, no.
Oh, you was about to do a dance?
No. Bye.
Give everybody a couple minutes to log in. Get started. What's up, Dre? Zeke already left. He's out of here. Got a lot I want to discuss tonight. My man Samir, what's up? I got a couple of my Sankofa guys logging on live on Instagram. What's up? Councilmember Isaiah, hey, how are you? What's going on? Zeke, you might gotta come back. Real quick. Zeke, come here. I know come people said what's up. Come here. So remember Coach Keith from the camp?
No.
You don't remember Coach Keith?
No.
Coach Keith said what's up. If you could see his picture, you remember him. But you can't tell from there. He said what's up. Then my colleague in City Council, her name is Jamie. She said what's up. Mr. Dan, who work in the office, said what's up. But this what you gonna love. You got, that's Namir. He said what's up. That's Samir. He said what's up. So they on Instagram right now. Watch it. Say what's up.
Hi.
Yeah, they said what's up. I know my boys miss basketball. My man Shee Rucker, what's up? That was one of my teammates. I know my guys miss basketball. All right, we're going to get started. Try to give people a couple minutes. All right, Zeke, see you later. You want to say bye? Come on, you can come say bye. Look, they saying what's up. See, told you that's not me.
Bye.
Yeah. All right, so we want to get started. What do we have to do so this won't extend to the summer? So, Mary, that's a great question. One of my high school students said, what do we have to do so this won't extend to the summer? Do we really have to give it back? I'm not quite sure what that means. But, yes, so that's what we're talking about right now. What today in the mayor's press conference, one of the things that was stressed, and it said in the national press conference, but in the mayor's press conference today, one of the things that was stressed was that social distancing on a certain level is working. And so what we need to do, Samir, is to continue to encourage our friends, our family, our network, especially people your age group, Samir, 17 to, about 35. But really 17 to 24, the young guys. We really need you guys to stay home. We need Shar, I see you on what's up on Instagram, your age group. We need y'all to make sure y'all stay home. We need y'all to make sure y'all taking it serious. It's only hopefully this is only going to be a couple more weeks. That's what we're hoping. But we need y'all to stay home. We need y'all to please take it serious. And I'm talking to my basketball guys that's on Instagram right now. I know a lot of the adults and the elders take it serious, but a lot of the young folks, I know some of it is a level of misinformation. That's why I try to bring it to y'all directly. I send y'all texts and group texts and things like that and try to tag y'all and stuff. But yeah, that's what will get us through this. Is that we can all take it serious, stay home, no large gatherings, and I think we should move forward. Somebody said, can I ask a question on Instagram? Feel free to ask your question. Throughout the course of the live, what I try to do is give people an update as well as answer questions. So if you have questions, go ahead and ask them, and I'll try my best to essentially get to them. In the city of Philadelphia, as of today, we have 427 new confirmed cases, which kind of keeps us on the same trend that we've been on for some time now. I see iHeart Hoops is logged on. I definitely want you guys to post one of your videos. Big shout out to iHeart Hoops as well as Born Leader Family. I want you guys to post your videos, please, in this feed of how you encourage young people to do individual workouts and give them drills that they can do on their own. Because what I want to do is take your videos, take Born Leader Family videos, and share those videos so other student athletes as well as coaches have an idea of what a student athlete should be doing at this time. So Coach Omar, longtime friend of mine, he runs iHeart Hoops. Please post your videos in the comments so my staff can see it and we could try to get that stuff out. Do we really have to give back the checks that they give us? I will be talking about the stimulus checks a little bit later, so I'll address everything with stimulus checks. But that was a question on Instagram. Do we have to give back the stimulus checks? And we'll get to them in a little bit. Outside of the outside of the new cases, we again 6,813 total confirmed cases. 14 unfortunately 14 folks passed away, which puts us at 190 total in the city of Philadelphia. So those are the numbers. Outside of that, the gun violence in the city of Philadelphia. Look, folks, that is still a problem, right? We're not seeing a huge spike in crime across the city of Philadelphia, but we're seeing most criminal activity come down, but we're still seeing a steady curve on gun violence. It's staying steady. We don't see gun violence trending down in the city of Philadelphia, and that's a huge problem. Right now in the city of Philadelphia, for the most part, you can get anything you need. If you're in need of food, if you're in need of housing, if you're in need of some type of financial support, please reach out. We do not want anybody to feel like that is worthy of someone's life to improve your personal living conditions. Right. I'm extremely concerned about the gun violence that we're seeing in the city. We had a 22-year-old and a toddler shot today. And we're going to put ourselves in a position where we could possibly overwhelm our hospitals. And I'm hoping that it doesn't come to that. But all of us adults, it's imperative that we encourage everybody in our network to use the free resources that the city have available and to put ourselves in a position where we're not seeing the level of gun violence that we're currently seeing in the city of Philadelphia right now, because it's painful. It's heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking before the coronavirus, and is double the amount of pain now, because not only are we dealing with the gun violence issue, we also have a ton of people that are out of work. We have a ton of people that are unemployed, and we're trying our best to advocate and fight for resources for the folks who are unemployed that need us right now, as well as think about what is life going to look like post coronavirus, right? How are we going to operate as a city once this entire thing is over? So please, folks, as far as the gun violence is really a huge problem, especially in poor communities and communities of color. Any ideas, suggestions, advice, resources, please reach out, and we're here to help. The food sites in the city of Philadelphia has changed. We're coming off the Easter holiday weekend, so there was no food serving today, but tomorrow the food distribution will be back up. There will be a number of distribution sites all across the city of Philadelphia. They did change. If you follow me on social media, you can see what's going on with those food sites, and you can see where they've changed to, so we can make sure that people in need are getting what they need. Question on Facebook, Mr. Wiseman, how are you, sir? Any school updates from a teacher who worries about his students? Yeah, so from the School District of Philadelphia, we actually have a call with Dr. Height this week. We're going to be talking about how the Chromebooks have been distributed, which for the most part we're hearing well, and we're going to be talking about the current state of education during coronavirus, as well as the future state of education. So Mr. Wiseman, please make sure you reach out to staff. I'm pretty sure that's not hard for you, and we'll make sure that we keep you updated as to what happens as it relates to the school district and the School District of Philadelphia. If you don't know, the governor recently announced that schools will not be opening back up this school year. Question on Instagram, what's going on with the testing site, specifically Ogontz and Washington Lane? I'll make sure I get an update for you. The weather isn't the best today, so I'm pretty sure that site was limited as to what they can offer, but that testing site, last I checked, was still there, and my staff and I will make sure we get to you with information about the testing site at Ogontz and Washington Lane. But thank you. That's a great question asked on Instagram. Outside of that, here in the city of Philadelphia, I'm hearing that a lot of people on social media feel like that they're not getting. Thanks, Dave. The food distribution information will be Tuesdays and Thursdays next week. It'll be back to the normal days of Monday and Thursday. Hi, Councilman Thomas. Did you get the number to the mental health professionals who can speak on your page for our youth from ages 12 to 25? I'm still unemployed. Okay, so for the question on Facebook about youth, did you and mental health support? I think that's two different things. So if we're talking about youth and mental health support, I have staff that send this email. They can make sure that they give you some resources. And actually, the ironic thing is mental health support is one of the things that I was going to discuss because I'm actually getting a lot of inquiries about mental health support. So, Ernie, thanks for your question. I'll make sure that somebody on my staff reaches out to you for mental health support. As far as the unemployed stuff, we have a ton of resources for people who are unemployed as far as how do you apply for federal stimulus dollars, as well as what options the and state have to offer some level of financial support depending on the reason you're unemployed and how long. Thanks for keeping the community informed. Thanks for your advocacy. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Why are y'all considering closing streets so that violators of the stay-at-home orders can play outside with their children? That's a great question. And my staff really didn't want me to touch on this too much, but you asked the question, so I'm going to answer the question. Y'all is plural. Y'all means that, and I'm just making sure I'm reading this right. Y'all is plural, which means y'all means me. I don't think it's a good idea to open up streets. In my personal opinion, if we're going to be opening up anything as it relates to streets or activities or anything like that, it should be for the children. When you look at the groups that's advocating and you look at the locations that they're advocating to open up, I'm not for that because the demographic who I know that are struggling significantly with this, they won't even be able to get access to those open streets because they don't live in those neighborhoods. So if you were to ask Councilman Thomas, what do he want to see with open streets? I would want to, first of all, I don't think any streets should be opened up. But if we're going to entertain the idea, in my opinion, of opening any streets, they should be streets in poorer neighborhoods. They should be streets that are monitored by the police. We should make sure that people are exercising the social distance guidelines that we gave. And if we're targeting our children, we should make sure that there's organized activities for them. So, I definitely appreciate the question, but just because you see something as far as an article or a headline, don't assume that that's something that everybody is for. I personally do not think it's a good idea, but more important in my opinion is just the idea of unity. So because I have an opportunity to have a seat at the table, I've already communicated to the mayor, to his administration, the fact that I agree with not opening the streets, and I think that they should keep it the way it is. And that's my opinion, and I've communicated that. Unfortunately, a decision like that is up to the executive branch of government. City council, we can communicate our opinion, we can weigh in on our opinion, but we can't make the executive decision as to what happened. I'm the chair of the Streets and Services Committee, and I still can't make an executive decision as to what will happen with streets and opening streets up. So I appreciate you asking that question on Instagram, and I'm more than happy to provide an answer. Outside of that, I wanted to move on to talk about people needing and receiving information. A lot of people, Coach Omar, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We see it all on our timeline. These kids, they need an outlet, they need a break. And when you're talking about the mental health support, yes, that is important. And again, I'm going to elaborate on that a little bit more as I go into the live. As it relates to information, so I try my best to come live multiple times a week. My communication staff is great. The other members of city council also have phenomenal communication staff. And if you look at some of our young elected officials, a lot, not the stereotype, but a lot are constantly on social media. If you have people who are on your timeline, if you have people that you follow who's saying that elected officials aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, who's saying that they're not getting information and they don't see us, please tag us in that stuff. Not so we can go back and forth with people so that they know that we're trying to get this information out to them. If people are saying they're not getting information, there's a chance that somebody might be in need. And if this is a genuine issue, we want to make sure that we're as transparent as possible. Every time I go live, my staff turns it into a YouTube video. We then put the video out there. In the caption, I try to list all the different things that we discuss in the live. So even if you don't watch the whole 20, 30, 40-minute video, you at least can breeze through the caption to get an idea of some of the information that we're trying to make transparent to people. So I'm putting a charge on the people in my following. Big shout out to Joseph, one of my Be Me brothers, who literally gave me this idea because he had somebody on his timeline who was saying they never see local elected officials go on social media and give out information. And he quick tagged myself and my man Jordan Harris right in there. And I gave the lady my information, let her know I was going live, and told her she could feel free to follow me if you feel like you're not getting information. A lot of times it's about who people follow. And if you don't follow any elected officials, if you're not on any of our timeline, of course you'll have the perception that we're not giving out information because that information isn't essentially coming to you. So I just wanted to make sure I put that out there, and that's my charge to my following and to the folks who view this video. I'm asking that you help me help get information out there. So again, when you see that post, oh, elected officials, or I don't know, or where can I find out, tag us. Let us make information as transparent as possible because it's extremely important. Want to take a minute to give a big shout out to Sincerely Sarita. I tuned into her show. If you don't listen to her show on WURD, I got a chance to listen to it for a little bit today, and she talked about this idea of coins and conversation, specifically thinking about what do we do with our stimulus money, as well as what do we do after the coronavirus is over. So please, collect quality information, collect positive information. Put yourself in a position where the people who are around you and the people who are giving you information, they're feeding you things that is not only accurate, but they have good intention behind it. We've mentioned mental health a number of different times. It's very important that we're feeding ourselves good information and good energy because that definitely matters. I blame them for not doing their homework, not the elected officials. I want you to come on my show. I'm definitely down to come on your show. 100%. Just let me know, Will. I'm 100% in. So the monkey in the room is the stimulus checks, and folks have been getting stimulus checks and starting last week, towards the end of the week, as well as going into this week. And I wanted to take a minute to talk about the stimulus checks because there's a lot of myths that surround the stimulus checks. So when people say that you have to pay the money back, that's not true. You're not paying the money directly back. Now, what people know is that government sometimes increase taxes. So indirectly, you may end up paying the money back, but this is not that type of situation. The stimulus checks are put people in a position where they'll get $1,200 as a one-time payment. And if you look at my post that announced the live for tonight, I'll add it into this post as well, either in the caption or in the comments. We listed what other countries all across the world are doing for workers right now. And if you look at what the United States of America is doing for workers all across the country compared to what other countries are doing, my argument is that we as a country can do better for people, right? We want to see more relief for post offices. We want to see dollars given to cities and states that will help put them in a position where they can continue to fight for citizens. So the stimulus checks, by any means, they're a good start. Thanks, Dave. Right, $1,200 per person plus $500 for each dependent/child. That's a good start. And I know that there are a number of families who are in need of that. But the key is we have to make sure that this is just a start. If we are down the entire month of April, this started in March, we're down the entire month of April. If we dig well into May, you're talking about anywhere from 2.5 to 3 months that we're asking people to stay home. I don't think that $1,200 is a sufficient amount of money to ask American citizens to stay home for 8 to 12 weeks, for 2 to 3 months. That's just not right. But it's up to us to make sure that we know what's going on and to make sure that we advocate for putting ourselves in a position to ensure that more people get money. My colleague, Councilmember Gaudier, who represents the West Philly section, I support the letter to allow. So Jamie disagrees with me. She feels like we should open up more streets. She says it's been done in other cities. And no, you ain't distracted me. And that's the beautiful thing about council, right? I'm not, she feels one way, I feel another way. We can have a conversation and we can figure out what's the happy medium. So Jamie feels totally different than I do about opening the streets. She's somebody who actually thinks it's smart for us to open up the streets. And again, if you're saying this is a good idea, I'm not saying, we could just agree to disagree on that particular issue. But I did want to communicate her opinion because for those on Instagram who are watching, you can't see what Councilmember Gaudier wrote. I completely understand where she's coming from, and I respect it. 100% no issues. The post office. Oh, so yeah, we one of the things that we were advocating for on the federal level is to see some level of financial relief and some funding for the post office. But we know that that's a political issue because we also know that this whole mail by vote is on the table right now, which is something that we 100% need. So we want to see financial relief for the post office. We want to see more financial relief for citizens, poor people, and people of color all across the city of Philadelphia and across the entire country, because that's where these stimulus dollars should be going. It should be going to the people. The deposits, Dave said the deposits are made into a bank account if you receive direct deposit, tax refunds last year. Yep. So that's all information there. People on Facebook, you can see it. Outside of that, on a personal level, I just want to encourage people to make sure that you're taking care of your mind, body, and spirit. Look, if you are somebody who's feeling some level of depression right now, please know that that's normal. That's okay. It's okay to feel a little depressed. It's okay to feel a little down. It's okay to feel like the walls are closing in on you. And I recognize that's you doing your part as it relates to the sacrifice that we're asking everyone to make. The hard part is, acknowledging that you might be going through something and then reaching out to people and asking for a little bit of support. Especially in the Black community, we don't acknowledge the importance of having some level of mental support. If you are in the midst of suffering as it relates to some level of depression, anxiety, or anything like that, please reach out to help. Reach out for help. I know I'm available. I know my office can connect you to professionals who can help you get through this process. But what we don't want is we don't want to see an increase in suicide. That would be extremely heartbreaking as it relates to how we're dealing with this coronavirus. I encourage people to get routines. Have a time that you wake up, have certain things that you do certain days of the week. I know in my house, we play Monopoly every Saturday just because it's going to take about 4 hours. And that's the one day where I'm not working around the clock with myself and my staff to get a whole lot of other things done. So I would encourage folks to please create routines, try to exercise on a consistent basis, try to make sure that you're reaching out to your loved ones for support, and making sure that they're mentally and physically up to par. My son is going through this as we speak. I can completely I wonder how old he is, but I understand. I understand. What's up, bro? Don't have a question. Just want to say, hey, thanks, man. I appreciate you, Phil. One of my brothers from college just let me know you're proud of me. I appreciate you. I know there are a number of people on both Instagram and Facebook right now. If anybody has any other questions or issues that you feel like you need me to address, I 100% can do so. Before we make a weekly plan. Yep, Will Mega on Instagram, encouraging people to make weekly plans and daily tasks is really, really important that you do so. My wife, she participates in all type of Zoom activities where sometimes it's a game night, sometimes it's just conversation. Myself, I've actually started to FaceTime people more just because, I miss people. I miss touching people and talking to people and being around people. So I've tried to put myself in a position where instead of doing phone calls, I do more FaceTime. Sometimes individual FaceTime, sometimes group FaceTime, just to have that collective dialogue. I know I got a lot of young people that's on Instagram that's watching. My man, Coach Bill over at Frankfurt is watching. Yes, online yoga. I love yoga. So as a high school basketball coach, and my boys are online, they could attest to this. When we had an opportunity, we would do yoga one day a week as a team. Now, keep in mind, the room would smell terrible afterwards because that's what yoga does. But we would do yoga one day a week, and it was important not just for the physique of the young men, but also the mental side as well, too. So I highly recommend any student athlete who's serious about your craft, whether it's basketball, baseball, football, swimming, tennis. Yoga is an excellent activity for you to pick up at this time. And it's one of those things that you can learn online. Oh, big shout out to my colleague, Councilmember Cindy Bass, representing the 8th Councilmatic District. She chimed in as well, too, on Instagram. She says, hey, I think opening up the streets depends on the neighborhood and what's needs. Yeah, it's important for some, less for others. Yep. Let's talk to touch base with the people and get a pulse of what people want. Councilmember Bass. So Councilmember Bass she's not saying she's 100% for it, but she's also not saying she's 100% against it. And that's how politics work. What people, it's a compromise. This is how I feel. This is how you feel. This is the research and the numbers. What is best for the people? And what folks don't understand, right, is that city council right now, we're not convening. We're all working on our own. we're struggling ourselves to be able to figure out how can we have collective dialogue while assuring that we abide by the laws that exist that prevent us from convening in certain capacities. So it's very difficult for us to maneuver the way we want to because of the laws. The laws restrict us from certain level of communication in the capacity that we want to. It restricts us from doing so unless we're able to physically convene. And so because we're not able to physically convene, on a certain level, it's minimizing what we can do as council. So for us, a lot of times we're finding out information about each other and how each other feel through social media, just like you are as a collective. So I appreciate my colleagues on city council. Again, Councilmember Bass representing Germantown, Mount Airy, big part of Uptown and North Philly. She's on Instagram, and then Councilmember Gaudier on Facebook. My man, Andre Carroll, great guy. What can the city do to provide universal basic income moving forward? Or can that be done on the state level? City can't do it at all. The state really, that would, from every study that I've read around what universal income would look like, that would have to start from federal level, specifically the executive branch. And if you ever thought that this president would be for anything like that, you got another thing coming. Now, that is, I think, a great dialogue, discussion topic for the presidential debates and the presidential campaign as it's going to go from now until November. But we can't do it on the city side. Hey, Beth, how are you? Yes, I feel like I'm in jail. Always with the boys, but now we can't. Yeah, no, I get it. It's driving you crazy. That's why we need routines, and we need to. And I know you got all the boys with you, Beth. But, you know, they need routines. We need to make sure that you got all them athletes, Beth. Might be time for them to start yoga or some other phenomenal activity that could help them with their body. Help change. So the laws, Ernie, we can't. These are not laws that we can just change like that. It's not that simple. Dave, Ernie is asking us to change the laws on Facebook. Give her a breakdown real quick, Dave, on Facebook of why it's not as easy as it sounds to just change the laws to allow us to convene. I'll give you a crazy story. So when we first met, and I got a ton of crazy stories, but when we first met, the police commissioner, Commissioner Outlaw, who, you know, I like the sister, honestly. Her hands are tied sometimes, but I like her personally from all my interactions with her. When we first met Commissioner Outlaw, she had a meeting with City Council. And one of the things that happened was we all could not meet with Commissioner Outlaw at once. So we had to literally have council members rotate in and out of the room because of the laws that exist in the city of Philadelphia as to how many members of City Council can convene at one time and what it is that we're doing in the midst of convening. So it's not, I wish we could just change the laws, especially under the circumstances that we're dealing with right now. But unfortunately, we literally can't. And Dave, please on Facebook elaborate with Ernie so that conversation you could provide some precedent to what she's asking. Ramirez 16. He showed used to moving and shaking. Ramirez is one of my mentees. He's on the Philadelphia Youth Commission. He's a JSL. He's a football player. I think he runs track too. And yeah, I can imagine, you know, the young people and all they've done to build up to this moment, especially on the athletic side, is interesting. And I feel bad for them. So with that being said, if there are any other questions, I know on Instagram, some folks are logging in, some folks are logging out. On Facebook, I know more folks are logging in. If there are any other questions, feel free to let me know. I'll give folks a couple minutes because I got one more rant. I'm a big time Philadelphia basketball guy, and in the last couple months, including this weekend, Philadelphia basketball community, we've lost some giants. Of course, everybody knows about what happened, unfortunately, with Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and the other folks that was on the helicopter with him. Another issue was Coach Greg, who ran Huntington Park for years. He unfortunately passed away a couple weeks ago. And then over the weekend, we lost another champion, Coach Paul Gripper. And Coach Paul Gripper is somebody who I knew personally. I watched his son play as well, too, when his son was in high school. I listened to his lives all the time because he's just one of them funny dudes. But he was a person who really loved his family, who really loved his children. I vividly remember listening to one of his lives where he was talking more about his daughter and how proud he was of his daughter. And I've never met his daughter. But just from reading the GoFundMe stuff and looking at all the things that his family is communicating to us and making public now, I just wanted to take a couple minutes to offer my condolence to Paul Gripper and to his family because he unfortunately passed away this weekend. And my thoughts and prayers go out to them. When all this stuff clears up, we're definitely going to be doing something to recognize Paul Gripper as well as Coach Greg, who are, again, two giants in the Philadelphia basketball community that we've lost in 2020. Again, Coach Greg was a couple weeks ago, and Coach Paul Gripper unfortunately passed away over the weekend. Paul and I were supposed to actually go live together this week. He was really concerned about the young people being outside in the midst of coronavirus, and he has a lot of influence on the young people. So his goal was going to be to go on live with me this week to deliver a message to the young people about the importance of coronavirus, staying home now, and just encouraging them to stay home now because we're going to take care of the young people this summer. So I'll be making sure that we'll be doing something in Coach Paul's name as well as Coach Greg. But again, Coach Paul Gripper just hit a little close home to me because he's somebody who I know personally. Really tried to help my kids get into school last year, specifically Khalil Turner. He would text me all the time about Khalil Turner, trying to help him get into college and offering his opinion on what was best for him. So again, rest in peace, Coach Paul Gripper. Praying for you and your family, and that one really hurt. Outside of that, I'm gonna take a couple minutes to go back through social media to see if anybody had any questions. My man Ben Slater, what's up? Ben, I think you the one who introduced me to Paul Gripper, to be honest with you. So I know you hurting over this one right now too. And Ben, I know y'all had one of y'all youngest that passed away in his sleep over the weekend. Julian was telling me. So, definitely praying for him and his family as well too. All these unfortunate situations that we're dealing with. That's why I get so passionate about the gun violence issue, because that's one of the few things that we can actually control. I'm not saying a lot of these things aren't an actual choice, but the gun violence is just the one that's the most heartbreaking. We really got to do something about it. And that's one of my biggest tasks for my staff and I as it relates to the work that we do on City Council. Shout out to Samantha, Curtis, my man, Councilman Curtis Jones, Ledge Director. I see she just signed in. Samantha, I am going to leave you alone. I don't have anything smart to say. I'm not even going to tell my listening audience what's going on. All I'm going to say is my wife is out of pocket because she keeps throwing shade at Philadelphia every chance she gets. So I don't have nothing but love for you, Samantha. But my wife, she off the hook. That's what she into. Judge McCabe, be encouraged. This too will pass. Be creative about using your time to avoid being stir crazy. Stay safe and healthy. Judge McCabe, thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate the work that you're doing on the bench. Elections matter so much. If you look at some of the issues that we're facing in the courts right now, some of those decisions come down to actual judges. So please know that elections matter. Glad to see Judge McCabe on the bench, but unfortunately, we're going to have to vote for her again because we want to keep her on the bench. So when she goes to run for re-election, you can guarantee that she'll be I'll be having her on my timeline. I'll be introducing her to my network because we want to keep her on the bench. She's doing a great job. My man Rashad, what's up, Spit? You're doing God's work. Thank you, brother. Yo, man, I'm trying. I appreciate it. Without you, Spit, I wouldn't even be as good on social media as I am, and that's not even a compliment to myself. But thank you, brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate all you're doing, and I appreciate your advocacy, encouraging people our age to stay home as well as giving them information that's coming down the pipe. So thank you. We appreciate it. Bunk the Sunshine Law. Y'all can find. We are working on it, though, Ernie. Don't think we not working on it. You know what I mean? We are working on it. I want you to know that, Ernie. But, yeah, I feel you. We wish we could, I really would just want to push it out the way. No, but we're working on it. We're trying our best. And we know that people need us to convene so we can allocate more resources and so we can do more. But we've done a lot, Ernie. In the city of Philadelphia, you cannot be evicted. Utilities cannot be cut off. We have already advocated for funds and dollars for nonprofits, for child care centers, for stadium workers. We've raised money for supplies. We're advocating for hospital and healthcare workers. We've set up extra initiatives to be able to deal with overflows in hospitals. Folks are doing a lot. I just wish I wish we could convene and do more. I know you know, Ernie, but I just like to explain it to people and listen to the audience. Plus, I got people on Instagram who can't see what we're talking about on Facebook and what you guys are writing on Facebook. So I think that's my spill for the night, folks. Be on the lookout tomorrow. City Council is going to be starting our public service announcements where we're encouraging people to stay home. My public service public service announcement starts tomorrow. So if you listen to any of the Radio 1 stations, I know Max is here right now. He could probably post some of the Radio 1 stations that will be, you'll hear it. We want to hear your feedback. If you think it sounds good, if you think it's effective, let us know. I seen somebody tag me in a comment earlier where they were wondering what the city council is going to do with the $400,000 that we got from the $85 million. That $400,000 does not come to us. It does not come to our pocket. It does not come to our office for budget. Those dollars are specifically to get the word out and to get the message out to Philadelphians to stay home and the importance of staying home. What we're trying to do is we're trying to ramp up our outreach effort to encourage Philadelphians to stay home. So that's what the dollars are for, is because we need to make this information transparent to everybody. One of the issues that I talked about on the live was the fact that people feel like they're not getting information. So we're trying to meet people where they are. We're trying to do commercial ads. We're trying to do lives. Anything we can do to land in people's living room to give them the message of the importance of this virus and what we're dealing with right now. We are trying our best. So that's what the $400,000 is for. You will hear those announcements starting tomorrow. And please give me feedback. Let me know. Is it good? Is it corny? Mine was a little Isaiah Thomas-ish. So let me know what you think. Where and how can we support and donate more? Great question on Instagram. If folks feel like they want to help raise more money to be able to buy more medical supplies, PPE equipment for nurses and things of that capacity, let us know. We did the campaign. So for those who don't know, we started a capital campaign on Friday. We did a 24-hour campaign where we was able to raise about $900 to $1,000 to buy protection equipment for hospital and healthcare workers. I matched that with another about $900 to $1,000. So we were able to purchase about $2,000 worth of protection equipment, and we're going to be giving that specifically to hospital and healthcare workers. If folks feel like this is an initiative that they want us to do again because they want us to donate, we'll do another 24-hour campaign where we raise as much money as we can to support hospital and healthcare workers, but other essential employees. I would love to do something to support SEPTA workers. I would love to have masks on SEPTA bus. Shout out to Councilmember Isaiah because I got that idea from her. I would love to have masks on SEPTA bus where SEPTA bus drivers, if someone comes on the bus, they don't have a mask, they could just give them a mask so people who are in that closed space can find a way to make sure that they're protected. So I would support that. I would love to put together another capital campaign, but at the same time, I know it's very difficult to ask people to donate in a climate like this because there's so much uncertainty. So with that being said, the ball's in your corner, Facebook and Instagram. If this is something that folks want to do, push me, push my staff, and we'll definitely do it. I'm going to take a couple minutes to go through Facebook. I know I missed a couple comments. Frank Dargan, everything being closed. That's a great question, Frank. Great. Dave has already told you to email him. Yup, Dave will walk you through that. That's Lance. Frank Dargan. I'm like, what? Frank Dargan? That's Lance. Lance, he'll walk you through that and make sure that you get the support that you need, Lance. We got you. Somebody says SEPTA needed. Yeah, we know SEPTA needs it. We know. We're trying our best to make sure all the folks who are considered essential employees have the support that they need. We starting with the hospital and healthcare workers. I actually was on a call with some of the folks over at Temple today, and right now they're doing good, and a lot of folks are stepping up. The philanthropy community is stepping up, and we're seeing a lot of collaborations and donations. But I don't want to give exact details of the conversation because it's somewhat privileged. But let's just say that right now our focus is hospital and healthcare workers more than anybody because we need them. City correctional officers, absolutely. So I know that some people who work in the prisons are hospital and healthcare workers. Other people who work in the prisons are correctional officers. So my office, I haven't talked much about the advocacy that we've been doing to help try to get people released from the prisons because, we're at the table, we're talking to the district attorney, we're talking to the public defender's office, we're talking to the mayor, we're advocating to the state, working with state legislators to release folks. Yes, we are moving too slow. I acknowledge that. Yes, we can be doing better, not just with the correctional officers, but also with the healthcare workers that work in the prison, as well as the prisoners. We should be doing better. We are not doing good enough. And in my office and my team and I, as well as other members of council, we will continue to fight and advocate for more of our people to be released. Shout out to all the folks who are leading the Free Our People campaign as organizations and coalitions all across the city. that are coming together to advocate for people to be free from the prisons. And when we're advocating for people to be free, we're advocating for folks. I'm not even going to go into that. If you have a question, feel free to reach out and we can elaborate on what that is. How long I've been going? 40 minutes. Okay, I'm over my time. If anybody has any questions, feel free to let me know. But I know a lot of y'all don't want to watch a 40-minute video, so I really don't want to go too much further. But if you have any other questions, please feel free to let us know. If you're on Facebook, you can leave a comment. And if I don't reply, somebody on my staff, somebody on my team will reply. Thank you. We appreciate it. I think I covered everything. You going to say hi or you just going to stare at the phone? This is my wife. She does this every time. Try to wear a different, shirt that represents something every time. Beth said, what's up, KJ? This is the shirt that I wore on my last campaign for city council that I lost. I kind of wore this shirt today because to me, this represents hardship. This was probably the worst loss that I've ever taken in my life. But, I was able to persevere and get over it. We're in a tough time right now. And this shirt to me represents struggle. When I see that number 98, it represents struggle and it represents perseverance. So please, folks, stay strong. I know this isn't the easiest time for all of us mentally, financially, emotionally, but please stay strong. Check on one another, develop routines, exercise daily, stay informed, and don't forget my charge for today. Tag us if there is somebody who is saying that they don't have information as to what's going on so we can make that information transparent to them. Again, thank you. Have a great day. I might come back live this week again. If I do not, I will definitely be back next Monday at 8 o'clock. All right, everybody. Peace.